Right, everybody. Good to see you all back again as another month is gone, and probably another book you have read. Hopefully, not only one, but read infinity. And that is why we are, yeah, obvious. There's a lot of technology these days that could help you read. And, well, use them. And if they work for you, it's fine. I still love going through my hard copy book, marking pages and underlining certain important things I learn from the book. So thank you for joining today. Um, we will be discussing a book, or I'm just going to introduce you to a book, not much of a discussion, and maybe help you with a few questions after I have read the book, my impression. Well, I would love to start off my slideshow with Leonard Cohen. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Always some hope. Um, Everything is not darkness. And this is my message, personal message. So the book, oh, before we get to the book, I thought another song by Sting. We are going to talk about people stuff today, all people issues. And as soon as I started reading this book, I was thinking of this Sting's song Fragile. And it is so appropriate for our times. If blood will flow when flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun, tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away, but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument that nothing comes from violence and nothing ever could. Wow, it is such deep words for all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall like tears from the stars, like tears from the star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. How appropriate. We are going to talk about the big P. I call it the big P. People living our North Star. Um, Aligning spiritual and management innovation practices. Now, this is a new field in business science where people look at what is spiritual and what are spiritual uh, aspects we could sort of entwine with business. And yeah, some people might be uncomfortable with this because it's not a usual type of business topic. Although a lot of organizations these days are moving towards spirituality within the organization to totally a new topic, a new subject. So let's kick off the content of this book, context in which we live and work. I think I wasn't surprised getting this as an entry to the book. Chapter 2, Workplace Spirituality. And in depth, the writer, the author, sort of formulates what is workplace spirituality. Chapter 3, I think, is very important for an organization. how the aspects of spirituality play a role within leadership in service of a better future. And then practical sort of know-how type of advice, inclusive and dynamic planning. How do you plan for leadership in service and workplace spirituality? Organizing for self-management and people empowerment. This is a theme coming through constantly, people empowerment and self-management. Chapter 6 is liberating organizational control, and that is giving control back to the people, letting them be creative and innovative. And chapter 7, mobilizing organic change. Now, this is a typical sort of approach from Peter Senge once again in his book Dance of Change, where he suggests that change should be organic and not revolutionary. So the art of people. We had this theme before, managing transitions to keep people thriving, and the art of leading, bringing the best out in our people. And this is very much a focus of this book, to bring the best out in people within the organization. And hopefully, if you do that, then your organization will thrive and grow. So, the art of culture, creating an A-team environment where people thrive, that is also a theme we had in the past, if you can recall our previous book, when we focused on scaling, a very good book on strategy. So the context, I said the book starts off with the context. Now, what is the context within this book? And once again, the fourth industrial revolution. I think we passed the fourth industrial revolution. We, in the fifth industrial revolution, or I just don't like this concept of fourth, fifth, or sixth, or seventh. So what? It's an industrial revolution. Rather name it, tell the people it's about the digital economy, or the digitalization of organizations. The emergence of knowledge workers, the whole concept of knowledge management, and we all within the knowledge economy. We are selling our knowledge. So if you do an MBA course and you don't make money at the end, you have wasted your money. So you should be making money after you do an MBA course or a DBA. The rise of a longing for an integrated life. This is a concept constantly coming back in this book. What is integration of life? It seems to me they want your workplace also to be the place where you live. Now, I don't know if that's positive or negative. Some people prefer to have a division between the workplace and, but anyway, an integrated lifestyle. The imperatives for reimagining management practices. Now, I think this is an ongoing theme, whether you 20 years back or 30 years back, you want to reimagine management practices. We cannot go back to our old way of doing things. We want solutions to problems, and that is what we do at BSN, is solving complex problems. And solving complex problems would probably mean that you cannot go back to status quo. So status quo is not an option, because on status quo, you cannot solve a problem. You cannot solve a problem where it is created. Then the concepts of abundance, paradox, and steward thinking mental models for a renewal orientation. So this is a little bit on the new side. On instead of thinking about scarcity, think about abundance and opportunities for all, a theme that we have spoken about in these sessions already. The paradox, it's not either or, it is and, and steward think, uh, and steward thinking mental models for renewal orientation. Doing both good and well is now a real possibility. Okay. So this is very much the context, and the author goes in detail into his understanding of what these concepts are. Obviously, we would like our students to be critical and analyze critically. Do you agree with these type of, of understandings? So this book focuses on ways to strengthen our spiritual foundation, enabling us to explore innovative new approaches to management and create work environments that foster the development of the best version of each individual with a positive impact on all stakeholders. Now, this is very worthy sort of departure point. There's some typos in there. Excuse me for that. Probably late night work. So a book focuses on ways to strengthen our spiritual foundation, enabling us to explore innovative new approaches to management. And that is what we really need within the digital economy. So the question is, what is new in management? And this is a question we constantly need to ask. So managerial functions from an innovative perspective, what will that be? The author defines it as inclusive planning, co-create futures of the organization, empowering organizing, coordination of activities and resources. Then distributed leadership is a concept that constantly pitches up in this book. Managing and leading people for a positive influence and impact. Who doesn't want that? There is so much negativity in our world. And if we could focus on the stuff that is positive, the stuff that is beautiful, then I think it will be to the better of all people. Liberating controls, innovative controls for value creation and preservation. These are all managerial functions, and the author would look at these aspects and suggest an innovative perspective. Now, spirituality, what's the understanding? Spirituality is fundamental to humanity and vital for human health and well-being. So it's all about people and the well-being of people. Spiritual practices help us integrate our values. Now, this is important. Integrate our values, purpose, and sense of connection into our professional environment. This facilitates the seamless integration of our unique spiritual foundation with our work. And I have quoted this from the author's writing. So his understanding of spirituality, it goes back to ancient spirituality, the whole concept of uh, um, heart and mind and body and soul, the typical sort of stuff the Germans would talk about, Herz und Leben, Herz und Tat und Leben. So very much the softer issues within an organization. And the whole book is how do we clad an organization within this, can we call it blanket, a softness and sensitivity towards people, which I think we need. Reason for spirituality in the workplace, work as central to meaning. It's all about the why, the big why, the purpose. What is your purpose in life? Improve performance and well-being, obvious, that would be an outcome. Spirituality and organizational performance done with respect for individual dignity. I, I think we need that a little bit more in our world. Incomplete engagement, yeah, heart, minds, and soul. Danger, there's a danger in spirituality too, potential for control, but that's the negative aspect of spirituality. And I don't think that it is the idea of the author to go that route. Mitigating harmful practices, properly understood workplace spirituality can address the dehumanizing aspects of modern organizations, practices that harm human soul. Now, I think we can really focus on harmful practices. Just think about artificial intelligence. What is that going to do to human dignity and humanity? I think it's something we could focus on. So, mental models for renewal. I thought this was positive in the book. Abundance thinking shifts the focus to plentiful resources and opportunities already available, in contrast to scarcity. It is all about collaboration and mutual benefit. I love the word collaboration, and we should think in terms of economy as a collaboration, sharing. I love the word, I've created the word collabonomics. How can you create a collabonomics within a digital organization? Paradox thinking, navigating the intricacies of complex contexts. And these days, issues are very, very seriously complex. And I don't think that the human mind can cope with it all. And there's a natural protest against all of the information data we receive on a daily basis. Complex context, a matter of choice, it encourages us to embrace both concepts concurrently, fostering a mindset of and rather than or. Example, disciplines thinking and doing creative thinking and doing. So it's not just the one, it's disciplines thinking and creative thinking. Stewardship thinking is something that comes from leadership um, and important servant leadership, contentment and sufficiency, long-term sustainability, holistic well-being, values based on decision making, align decisions to integrity and compassion. These are all nice, woolly, soft concepts for an organization. And I was wondering, whether it's possible in this world we are living. But I believe in the art of possibilities. So let's go there. In large aspirations, life is more than profit. uh, I wish there's more people thinking that way, and more along value lines. And I think that is required in organization is more value. And how do you value people at the end? Uh, so, yeah. So, chapter 2, workplace spirituality, origins of spirituality, and elements of spirituality. I love this quote from Martin Luther King in 1964. There is a sort of poverty of the spirit which stands in glaring contrast to our scientific and technological abundance. The richer we have become materially, the poorer we have become morally and spiritually. Uh, um, Martin Luther King said this in 1964, and where are we now in 2026? And it's even more true for today. An integrated view of spirituality. I think this was a very interesting section in his book. Most religions will have the following in common: a search for meaning and purpose in life, similar moral practices, compassion, honesty, justice, and care for others. Nearly all religions recognize the existence of an higher power. Religions acquire something, uh, acknowledge something is wrong with humanity. I think we all know that. Just watch the TV and you would ask the question, what's wrong? Express hope for a better future, foster communities, and grapple with the problem of suffering. And the whole idea is if we take all of these values and integrate it within an organization, it would be to the better of all. So, leadership in service of a better future. And here we go to Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Cool. So explored leadership aspects. And now the focus shifts now to leadership, spiritual principles and practices related to self-leadership, leadership principles for self-managing organizations. You could see the themes, and for all of these themes, it works out beautiful processes and, well, routes you could embark on. Leading for wholeness, leading for transparency, roles of leaders in self-managing organizations, distributed leadership, leadership from an abundance of talent, leading with virtues and servant orientation, virtues as a springboard for leadership, leading with service intent, and leading with context. Lovely themes, and I think if you're into leadership, and it would be very cool if you investigate these themes discussed in this book. So I want to end off with his 6 classes of virtues, which he suggests we could work into our organization. The first class is wisdom and knowledge. And under wisdom and knowledge is understanding is creativity, thinking of novel ways to do things, and that's what we do at BSN. Curiosity, taking an interest in all ongoing experiences. Research, what is that other than curiosity? Open-mindedness, thinking things through and examining them from all angles. At BSN, we would say this is critical thinking, love of learning, mastering new skills, topics, and bodies of knowledge. And that's what you do at BSN. Perspective, being able to provide wise counsel to others. And that is within your reflection at the end of the day. So the second class is humanity, and under humanity, the author discussed kindness, love, and social intelligence. And sometimes I feel there's a lot of CEOs, MDs, managers, and just people within organization that lack social intelligence. And maybe we've got to go back some other time to understand what is social intelligence. Justice, under justice class, fairness, leadership, and teamwork. All of these issues the author will discuss. Courage, this is a bit more fuzzy. Authenticity, presenting oneself in a genuine way. Bravery, not shrinking from threat, challenge, difficulty, or pain. Perseverance, finishing what one starts. And I love the last one, zest, approaching life with excitement and energy. And that is what we probably in organizations would love to see all our people sort of live out excitement and energy. Temperance, also a little bit more fuzzy, control your own emotion, and that is forgiveness, modesty, let your accomplishments speak for themselves, and not what some presidents do openly, telling the world what they have accomplished. Prudence, being careful about one's choices, and self-regulation, that's temperance. These are really very, very cool stuff to look at in this book. Transcendence, a character trait helping leaders to forge connections to larger universe and provide meaning. Appreciation of beauty and excellence. I just love this last one. Appreciation of beauty, gratitude, hope, humor, spirituality, having coherent beliefs about the higher purpose and meaning of life. This is a really probably not a type of book for everybody and to the taste of everybody, but I think a worthwhile book to look at the softer issues that need to be transferred from our daily lives, our home lives, to our work lives, have an integrated approach. Right, and Nassim Taleb, my end, we do not know what we will know. So please don't be arrogant. about what you think you know. Right, any questions? Hopefully I've not been too bored this afternoon, but it is really just to give you a perspective of what is actually going on in this unique book. Next time around, I would like to discuss The Innovator's Solution by Clayton M. Christensen. It's a new print of an old work, Creating and Sustaining Successful Growth. I think an important topic. Christensen is the father of disruptive technology, disruptive innovation. And I think it's important for us all to understand what his thinking is in terms of innovation. Right, any questions you would like to ask, or suggestions, or even comment you would like to make at this stage? You could just put up your hand. No comments? Yes, Caroline.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Prof. Bernie.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm quite intrigued by this topic, or this book rather. You know, in an environment like work or academics, we don't actually necessarily think as ourselves as, whole human beings. We actually just focus possibly just on the academic, the mind. We are just all human beings. The song you played in the beginning, we are just all so fragile.
Yes. Caroline, we lost you.
Spirit.
Caroline, we lost you. So sorry that we are losing Caroline. It's a very interesting conversation. Right, more remarks? More remarks? Comments? Right, if there's no remarks, it was great having you all in the room today. There is an link for this session which you could have access to. There's a recording. So great. Lyra, thank you for joining. I see you here. Great. Thank you, everybody. Until next time around, when we're going to discuss The Innovator's Solution by Clayton M. Christensen. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Prof. Bernie. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.